and today's pharmacology lecture we are going to take on competence PH 3.5, that is P drugs. So the specific learning objectives for today's class is that by the end of this class you should be able to prepare and explain a list of P drugs for a given case or condition. Before we start, let's imagine a scenario. Perhaps you are sitting in some clinic with a general practitioner and you are observing him, and there is a case of a 62-year-old man who is complaining that during the last month he had several attacks of suffocating chest pain which began during physical labor and disappeared quickly after he stopped doing his physical exercise. He had stopped smoking for over more than 4 years now, and his father and brother had died of heart attack. The physical examination revealed no abnormalities except murmur over right carotid artery and right femoral artery, and his blood pressure was found to be apparently within the normal range. And while the doctor was taking the history and giving the treatment, you observe that the process of choosing a treatment and writing a prescription seems very easy, and the physician is taking a very short time and he is deciding his treatment quite quickly. So have you ever imagined how can he be so quick in making a decision? Perhaps he is having some skills which is helping him in such a prompt response, and one of that skill may be that he has his own list of P drugs. So now comes the question, what can be P drugs or P medicines? So this letter P, we can understand this alphabet by various expansions, like it can be personal or practical, priority or preferred. Let's see what actually is the exact meaning of P word, the P medicine. P drugs mean personal choice of drug of a clinician for a particular condition, and this choice is based on the essential drug list, the availability of the drug, the safety of drug and cost, and the National Drug List Guidelines Hospital Formulary. Now this P drug, it includes the name of drug, the strength and dosage, schedule and direction of treatment. So what does this line mean? The last line means that it is not just that you have to take your name of the drug. In a list of P drugs, you have to mention everything: the name, the strength, the dose, the schedule, the specific directions to be given to a patient. And if all this is written, then only this list of P drug is considered to be complete. So the P drug concept. The concept is that you have chosen a drug of choice that you will prescribe regularly, and with this list of P drugs you have become familiar. So you here means you as a prescriber, you as a doctor. So these P drugs are your drugs of choice for given indication. See, this P drug concept is not just a name, as I just told you in the last slide, that it is not just the name of a pharmacological substance, but it also includes the dosage form. This is, we are discussing this again, the dosage schedule and the duration of treatment. Why we are repeating this? Because this is important to be remembered. So the conclusion of these last two slides is that P drugs are personal to doctor and they are not personal to the patient. This is your drug of first choice for treating a common condition. So the advantage of making your list of preferred drugs for any common ailment is that you do not need to check the suitability of the P drug for each patient that you have already selected for the given condition. So if you have many patients suffering from the same condition and they are visiting you off and on, so you have your own list of drug of choice for that condition, and each time you don't have to check the suitability for that condition. This saves your time, this increases your efficiency. So P drugs will vary from country to country, because every country has their own set of ailments, common ailments, the geography, the common characteristics of the population, the drugs available, the national list of essential medicine, everything varies from country to country. So for this reason, the list of P drugs will also vary from country to country, and it will also vary from doctor to doctor. So this variability is because of the different national formularies and difference in the essential drug list. There is a difference in medical culture between countries and even between states and even between doctor to doctor. So all these will govern and guide the preparation of a P drug for any individual doctor. But the principle of making a P drug list is universally valid. Every doctor, if you want to excel in your practice, ideally you should prepare your list of P drugs. So next question arises, how can you make your list of P drugs? So for that you will have to do a thorough research, and when you do a research you need to consult certain literature. So literature, the source of information that we seek, we can club that literature and classify it into three main types. Like we can have primary literature, like the published articles in journals. This is not a very reliable source of information. So the next in stage comes secondary literature. This is more authentic and more reliable as compared to the primary literature. So herein we have review articles, newsletter, online services like Cochrane collaboration and other online libraries. But the highest hierarchy is that of tertiary literature. This includes published books, national formulary, available national and international treatment guidelines. So why this is the most authentic source of literature? Because this tertiary literature, this is seeking information from all the other sources of literature like the primary and the secondary literature. So therefore you may refer to any of these literatures while you are finalizing the list of P drugs. So a P drug or a list of P drug is actually that drug that is ready for action. So ready for action means that now you know that for any disease this drug X is to be given, the dose has to be written there, the schedule in which the drug has to be taken is to be written, and any special instructions or special guidance that you want to give to the patient, that is also to be mentioned. And if all that is written and compiled together, then that drug becomes the drug which is ready for action. So there is a protocol by which you can this protocol you can follow to select your P drug, and there are 5 basic steps in it which you have to follow in the order. So step 1 is you have to first define the patient's problem. What is the diagnosis of the disease? Then step 2 is you have to specify your treatment objective, that what you want to do with this diagnosis and with this problem, how you want to help the patient. Then step 3 is you have to make an inventory of effective groups of drugs that will fulfill your therapeutic objective. Then step 4 comes that out of this inventory that you have already made, you have to choose an effective group. Say for example, if in step 3 you had shortlisted 5 groups of drugs which can fulfill your therapeutic objective. So in step 4, you have to, out of those 5 groups, you have to choose one effective group according to your criteria. And last step is that out of this effective group, perhaps this effective group may be having 4 or 5 drugs. So out of those 4 and 5 drugs, you have to choose one P drug, and that is your last and final step in selecting your P drug. So specifying the therapeutic objective, that was step 2. Here let's just take an example. Say for example, somebody comes to you with the problem that he is hypertensive, his blood pressure is more than the normal range. So your therapeutic objective, because diagnosis is already made that the person is hypertensive, so you have to specify that you want to treat the patient so that his blood pressure remains in the normal range. The increased blood pressure should come down to the normal range. So this becomes your therapeutic objective. Then another therapeutic objective that can be formed in the same patient is, you have to consider that since this is a chronic ailment, you need to give long treatment to the patient. So you have to consider the long-term benefit and risk associated with your treatment in a case of hypertension. Then once you have decided your step 2, step 3 is you make an inventory of effective groups of drugs. So when you are making an inventory of effective groups, you have to consider the following points, like you have to link your therapeutic objective to the various available drugs. This linkage is based upon certain factors. They are very basic pharmacokinetic factors like efficacy, safety, suitability and cost of treatment. So consider all these points when you are shortlisting your group of drugs. Then step 4 is like, now you have shortlisted group 1, 2, 3 for any particular ailment. So now we make a table like this. In this table, see on the left side we have the drug groups, and here we have the parameters where we are going to compare these groups of drugs with each other, and lastly, based upon this comparison, we will find out one most appropriate group suitable for the condition. So the parameters are efficacy, safety, suitability and cost. So if you can appreciate here, like if we have group 1 and group 2, efficacy of group 1 is less as compared to group 2, but you can't ignore the safety. Look at the safety. The safety is better than group 2. Cost, if we say group 1 and group 2 drugs are having the same cost constraints. So if we compare all the parameters and consider all of them, then we can find out that group 1 seems to be the most appropriate one, although efficacy is not the best, but still if we see, the safety is the best, suitability is the best, cost is the most affordable cost. Then last step 5. Now we have chosen group 1. And suppose in group 1 we have 3 drugs, drug 1, 2 and 3. Now we do the same exercise for this group again. But the difference here is we are taking individual drugs now. In the last earlier step, that was step 4, we were taking groups of drugs. So here drug 1, 2, 3 and we compare the same parameters. And when we do so, again what we can say is, although drug 2 is, maybe I can say drug 3 is cheap, but again suitability is equal to the rest 2, efficacy is not the best but not the worst also. But look at the safety, it is very safe. So we choose drug 3 for any particular ailment. So this is the process, like if we have 1 group, 2 group and 3 group, we shortlisted this second group, and in this second group we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drugs. So finally we have to choose one final P drug out of these 5. So we choose the P drug, we choose the standard dose schedule, and then we chose the standard duration of treatment. So this is the P drug that we have chosen. So that is how we select a P drug and then we write it in the prescription, then we give information to the patient, and finally the most important thing, you will have to monitor the response of the patient. So that was all about P drugs. Thank you.